Thanks for tuning in to the Loser Kid Pinball Podcast. We are on episode 117. I am Josh Roop. With me, my co-captain, as always,
Scott Larson.
And Scott, it's another beautiful day in pinball land. If you're going to be buying yourself a new machine like Venom, or what else has come out recently?
Well, I actually just took down my I finally brought my Cactus Canyon inside.
Nice.
So that was my big move. It's been sitting in my garage for a while, and I did buy that through Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out Pinball, and they are excellent. So if you ever need to contact or find that scratch that pinball itch, contact Zach and Nicole, and they've always been easy to work with.
Definitely. They are awesome. And like I said, the easiest way I contact them is through Facebook Messenger. But you do you, whatever works best for you. And they've got more employees there, so they're getting more customer service oriented. And it sounds like they're shipping used games now, which they weren't doing before. Yeah, they'll pallet them up, and they got some sweet deals on that website. Check out their Facebook page; is always up to date with the new pins. Our guest this evening has kind of taken pinball by storm. This man is recording, I swear, like a couple times a week.
He's about halfway to our episode count.
So, I know he's number 66 last I checked. And I mean, it took us like 2 years to get to 100. And so between that, and he's like, let's do a podcast. Let's do some streaming. Let's hang out with Spooky. Let's hang out with Pinball Adventures. Man, this man's just slaying it right now. He's doing great. We want to introduce Don of Don's Pinball Podcast. How you doing, Donald?
I am doing fantastically fabulous. Thanks so much for the invite. Happy to be on and hanging out with you.
Do you go by Donald or do you go by Don?
I go by Don, Donnie, Donald, El Donorino. If you're not into the whole
thing, right. Donorino.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bad symptom from like Miralax or something. Donorino.
Yeah, Donorino.
We've all been there. Yeah,
no, but it's all good. Hey, trust me, I'm in the age where I got my colonoscopy, and absolutely, everybody gets some Donorinos.
Yeah, but it's been fun.
Thanks for coming on, Donald.
Yeah, I'm just having fun in the pinball hobby. I started a podcast this year in January, and it's been fun the whole time, man.
Okay, tell us your story. You said it's been about 2 years. How did you get into pinball?
So I always liked pinball. I remember being a kid, playing in places and restaurants with my dad. I remember playing Fireball back in the day. And I distinctly remember him telling me, like, wait for the ball to get to the end of the flipper, then hit it, and you'll usually get stuff. And then ever since then, just growing up, going to arcades at the Family Entertainment Center, and I always go to the wall of pinball machines between that and Street Fighter 2, right? And then, met my wife, we started dating. She enjoyed pinball too. So we'd go and play on locations. And then we always used to dream about what it would be great if we could rent a machine for a month or something, and finally make it happen. So now just recently, about 2.5 years ago, we got our first machine, a Stern Dark Knight. We happened across, we bought it used from a dealer. And then that was my first time, like lifting a play field, taking the glass off, soldering something, and so it was just a learning process. And then one begets more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that just, it's like I was just stumbling around and then I walked into this world of like conventions and new games and different manufacturers and speculation. And then, started listening to podcasts and I was like, man, this is just super fun. How can I do more of this, And just looking for a creative outlet, watching YouTube videos and saying, okay, well, let's buy some equipment. Let's see what happens. Right. And that's really how it started.
So how many games do you have now?
I'm up to 10, which is crazy to say out loud. But it's just been,
there seems to be a year in every pinball, collectors where they go from like 1 to 2 and then they immediately go to double digits.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of crazy because it happens to almost every collector.
What makes me chuckle is you've got the bug so bad, man. You travel for work, and for those that aren't watching YouTube right now with us, you got a big Lebowski sitting behind you in your hotel room.
This is accurate. Yeah.
That is awesome. It's like, I'm going to go do some work and I'll bring, Lebowski with me. Why not?
Yeah. This was a 10-hour drive one way. And I just happened to be passing a place that I occasionally pick up shifts of work at. And so I figured, hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's make this trip pay for itself. But I didn't want to leave it out in the truck. So I snuck it in.
So do you choose which jobs you're going to take depending on which listings on Pinside you're buying?
Basically, yeah. I mean, now I look at shifts and machines, and if I come across something I like, I'm like Stern Pro, okay, and I calculate how many shifts that would be, and then talk to the wife and see if it makes sense. you know, Somehow I've convinced myself that any kind of extra work from the side hustle doesn't come from family money, and so then it's free for me to
Sure.
play around with.
I think we've all convinced ourselves of that. So you're
Mm.
not in. We're all in the same boat here. We know how you feel.
Okay, so what's your lineup right now?
So currently, left to right, I got a Godzilla Premium modded to the nth degree. Got myself a Rush LE, Star Wars Premium with the hyperspace ramp. Rick and Morty just went out. Lebowski's coming in. What else I got? Scooby Doo just came in with a buttery butter cabinet. I couldn't say no after touching one in person. Iron Maiden Premium is in there. Next to that, I got an Elvira Premium with looks like a 40th anniversary edition, just with some upgrades that I've done to it cosmetically. Foo Premium, Halloween is still kicking around, and then I got a Ultra VP virtual cabinet.
Okay,
I think that's all of
Nice.
them. Jeez.
that's a pretty solid lineup.
Yes, it is. It's funny because you were talking about how you go like you just we hit double digits. I don't think I've actually ever owned double digits. I'm at the highest I've ever been in my collection, which is 8 right now.
Hmm.
Eight
So
is
I
enough. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I've been knocking on the second decade of owning pinball machines. Right now, I'm pushing like 18 or 19. So we'll see if I size it down or if I size it up. I think my wife's voting for sizing it down.
this Labor Day actually marks. I want to say this is the 10th year I've been in pinball now.
Okay.
And in that 10 years, I've only owned a total of 32 machines.
Wow.
Okay,
33.
that's actually more than I've owned.
You buy and hold on.
I
I
do.
guess
I do. I'm a hoarder. I don't and the whole business of buying and selling machines, like I'm totally fine with buying it, but I hate the game of selling games.
yes.
And it's totally annoying to me. So it's yeah, I totally get it.
Let's be honest though. Like this last couple of years, it was nice because it seemed like if you bought something you didn't want, you could pretty much flip it pretty quick and not have to
Yeah.
worry about. I mean, now it's a slog. I
Slowed down, yeah.
apologize. Next year's a decade. I'm at 9 years this year. I apologize. So
Oh, well,
my first games,
that's what
amazing.
happens with pinflation. You just start exaggerating on the length.
I know. I know. Amazing Spider-Man, September 2014. It was Labor Day weekend. Crazy,
Wow.
crazy. So, anywho,
Yeah.
down memory lane.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having, whether you have room for 2 games or 30, getting to that number and then only getting a new one when something really comes out that's better than your least favorite game and then swapping it out. That way you always
Yeah.
maintain, that high level of quality. Or at least
I
I'm
agree.
justifying that to myself that way.
The only ones that haven't been high level quality in my collection are the ones that I got for either free
Yeah.
or for a super sweet deal that then I turn around and either fixed up and sold or just sold. So,
hmm The
or
free
ones,
ones usually extract about 100 hours worth of work from you.
yes, or they're just the dumbest thing in the world, and I
Mhm.
feel bad for getting it for free because the person's like, "I'm done with it," and you pick it up, and it's like something like someone installed the flipper coil backwards, and it was blowing the diode on the circuit board
Yeah.
and at the flipper, and so I had to replace the flipper and or the diode on the board as well as the flipper and flip the coil around. Boom,
Mm.
got that one for free. Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. Anywho,
Don, what's on your hunt next? What are you looking for?
To have a great time at Expo, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
yes,
I do have a Venom Premium on order.
Okay.
I decided about 6 months ago that I would just go ahead and try something. I was going to go in on the next 4 Sterns, kind of no matter what they were, just get them in, play them, sell them for what I could when the next one comes out, and just maybe have
Mhm.
like a rolling spot, right? So then I could always just for 4 or 5 months just have the newest Stern and see how.
Sure.
And everybody told me that you're not going to do that. You're going to end up keeping them, and you're going to have more room. And so, Foo Fighters, surprisingly came out. I thought Venom was going to be the one, and then Foo Fighters turned out to be amazing with a dead post and code that is going to get better. And so, I've got that thing powder coated to look like an LE, and I love it. And Venom's coming, and I'm not ready to get rid of my Foo. So I think people may have been right. But I want to stick to getting a Venom in. I like modding them up, adding the powder coat, the shaker motors, the knockers, and things, and then I'll gift it to somebody, for a song here when something else comes out.
Yeah.
See, this is what you should do. You should get 4 deep, and then that
Yeah.
way, the 4th one, when you're getting rid of it,
Mhm.
you're like getting rid of a Borg, and you're getting a Borg coming in, or you're getting rid of a Eddie, a Brian Eddy, and Eddie's
Have
coming
Oh,
one
in.
from all the collectors, yeah, or
Yep.
I
all
like
the
that.
designers. Excuse me.
Like always have an Elwyn in the rotation. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or you could be like us and just have almost nothing but
All
Elwins.
L1s, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mhm.
It's just something about those games, man. I don't know if it's the code, it's the way it plays. Maybe it's just it's all of it. It's like it's your
Did
favorite cake, you know.
did you spring for the Rush Topper too?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And
Mhm.
in a moment of weakness, I got the call from my distro that he had some, and
Yeah,
it's fun. I wish it was interacted more with the game or came with a
sure.
mode like the Godzilla one did. But it's fun watching gears flip around. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got it.
It
I
makes me chuckle. You say it like it's a drug deal. Like, oh, I was in a
yeah,
moment of weakness, and my
jeez.
dealer called me up, and he knew exactly what I wanted, and was like,
Mhm.
"Dude, I got the goods."
It is. They tend to call me when I'm out of town, like on my side hustle. So I'm like, oh, good, fresh money that I haven't allocated to anything. And then, oh, hey, by the way, we have Godzilla toppers just got announced.
Yeah,
Make
sure,
these
I'll take
spur
it.
of the
Yeah.
moment decisions.
Unbeknownst to you, they actually have your Apple ID, and they know when you're not home, and they're like, "Oh, he's
Yeah.
working right
They
now."
have an air tag on you.
Yep.
Would not
Yeah.
surprise me. Yeah,
Yeah.
at this point.
Okay, so you branched out from collector to deciding to do your own pinball podcast. So
Right.
talk about that. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I like listening to the podcast. I love the speculation, like what game's coming out next, who's the rumored developer, who's doing the art, what do we think's going to be in it? Oh, I heard that, Jaws is going to have, a sixth flipper on the side or some new mechanism. So just,
Mhm.
listening to everybody, I just kind of fell into that cadence and, I kicked it around back and forth like, hey, I wanted to be creative and get back into some kind of content creation. I used to do videos back in the day in like the theme park roller coaster hobby. You can look that stuff up
Mhm.
on YouTube if you want to see some
Okay.
crazy stuff. So I wanted to get back in. I don't know if video was right. And then, I met a guy at work who podcasts about real estate and financial markets and, but just talked to him about the process. And it seemed like something fun to try to do. And then, finally, I don't know if it was a New Year's resolution or whatever, but I decided, heck it, I'm going to go in and try it and we'll just see what happens. If nothing else, I'll have some stickers and some t-shirts and I can walk around in my own merchandise or something. But
Nice.
then, yeah,
We never do that. We never
people,
do that.
Yeah.
I am that guy. Yeah, but it's just kind of just been steamrolling.
Mhm.
I just put content out there and I had no idea if people were going to listen. If I'd have, 2 people listen or 5, I was going to be happy with that. But yeah, people started reaching out and they kind of liked what I did and they gave me suggestions and I just ran with it. And it's, in this hobby, like every 4 or 5 days, there's little news nuggets and speculation that drops and then you can just jump on and talk about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been fun. I don't know. I put the headphones on, hear my own voice and it's like, let's go.
Well, especially doing a solo podcast, you are super flexible to actually just jump on and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's Josh and I have to coordinate schedules. Usually, we're like, "Which day are you free?" So,
Well, and I
Sure.
also want to congratulate you too because you just hit 50 followers, correct?
500.
Or sorry, 500. I apologize. I didn't mean to truncate that at all.
Yeah.
yes,
500.
5 followers. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all 5 of them. Only
All
4 of them
5.
I'm related to.
The other 3 are email addresses I came up with myself.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just been fun. I kind of designed my own take on the mod for Rush with that holds the drumsticks, the Neil
Yeah.
Peart edition, and then I decided something fun that I didn't see anybody doing when I started the podcast. I would just advertise, "Hey, if anybody wants a set of these mods for free, just send me an address, and I'll send them to you." And I sent out like 10 or 15 sets to people, and I'm like, "Who's doing free mods? Why wouldn't people listen to that?" And then it just kind
Yeah.
of
Wait,
started.
wait. You have a drum mod for Neil?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's the I got the 3D printer program going and the CAD or whatever, and I designed some mounts for the sticks that you can the Neil Peart edition that you can get from Amazon. And so they screw in pretty easily. They're really little simple mod, but I 3D print them and send them out.
Really?
And
Okay. I want to find out more.
sure, yeah. The games people, Hans out in Anaheim, he's selling them for me now, and I think they're on CoinTaker also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that
You
was fun. Yeah, it's something I made for myself, and I shared it with everybody else if they wanted it. But yeah, that was just something fun to do. Then I found out, I got artists online to design graphics that I thought were cool, and I started putting them on stickers and sending them out to people if they wanted them, you know. And so, I like getting stuff in the mail, so I figured other people would too. I'm just trying to put back out, things that, do things that I would like to enjoy, or
Yeah, sure.
stickers I would like to have on my water bottle.
Didn't you jokingly do like new zip ties for the Godzilla topper as a mod too?
Absolutely. So, the topper got released. And everybody saw like, oh, look, they took the sculpt from the game and then just zip tied it to the topper. And it was a black zip tie. And I'm like, okay, what I'll do is the Neo Atomic Edition zip tie upgrade mod for the Godzilla topper, because I had a fluorescent green zip tie. And I put it on there for $15 and put it on Pinside. But I wrote that I would include a free T-shirt with it too.
Sure.
Yeah.
They did take it down after a couple of days, but got a chuckle.
Oh, that's too bad.
On my topper, so it's there.
Yeah,
that's
well,
awesome.
you have to have it apparently.
Yeah. So for listeners of this, if you want the Atomic Neon Green Godzilla zipper top mod, just email me or someone to show it, and they'll get it to me. I'll send it out for free.
I do have the Godzilla topper, so that'd be awesome.
I was gonna say that I don't know if you saw that Godzilla mod that Stumbler's backing though. It's like the Atomic Breath Godzilla with the lighting up fins. Holy crap! If you could strap that to the top of your topper.
I've got it, and I'm on a list for a second one to put on the topper to see if it actually works.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Stumbler does some good stuff. Yeah, I got the neon Tokyo sign. Yeah,
I need to get the second one. I got the first one. I still need to get the second one. I'm a little behind.
I got the second one. It's sitting right over here. I just need to install it. I need to find one of the hardest commodities come by around nowadays.
Mm-hmm. I have to find an afternoon to commit to something. If I'm gonna either troubleshoot a game or move something, I have to block out about 2 or 3 hours, because otherwise it just gets gobbled up. There's no way you can do, I'm just going to do this quick pinball thing. It just never happens.
Okay, side tangent. He says that, and I don't mind that I'm in the text group, but he has me in the text group with Butch Pill, and they're trying to troubleshoot his Cactus Canyon.
Yeah, sorry about that. I decided not to transition. So yeah, I'll tell the story. So I finally got my Cactus Canyon downstairs, and I couldn't. The mine shaft just seemed to be not working like it normally does. And so I texted Butch. I'm like, hey, what is this? Like, how do I troubleshoot this? I see like a check this switch, but there's 3 on the schematics. It shows the same location for 3 numbers. And so we were texting back and forth. And yes, sadly, I started it on the text thread with Josh. And so probably for about 2 or 3 hours, Josh was getting texts back and forth between Butch and me. And eventually we did figure out what was going on. And Chicago Gaming Company, they actually are sending out the parts that I need to fix it.
That's awesome.
So that was really sweet of them. Just solid. Stand behind their product. So,
I mean, I think that's all any of us really ask for. I had a problem with my opto sensor on my Foo Fighters when I first got it for the Overlord shot. And Raymond Davidson jumped in the little thread on Facebook, like, can you do the switch test? And he diagnosed it for me, and we got it fixed out. It was great.
No, Raymond's great, especially when I have questions on games he's coding. I'm like, hey, Ray, how do you do this? So,
remind me what game you're coding next.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We don't do that, but
try to talk him into slipping up.
So I got to tell a story though. I think who was it that they work at Stern? I'm not going to say who they are, but they work on pinball machines, like they're actually on the teams. And they said it was when they had received threats of not putting certain content into a machine that they were supposedly working on, and this person was at a wedding, was the best person, I guess the best man. Anywho, but they I'm done. That's what they ended up jumping off of Pinside and stuff like that, because they're just.
That's when you take fandom to a new level and probably a little over the top.
Yeah, just a little too.
Hey,
much.
I know you're designing something. Can I give you some pointers?
Yeah. And by the way, put this in there or there'll be problems. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah. It's never an okay thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Ridiculous. Well, Don, you got to stream with Spooky Did you just call it Bug and was like, "Hey, I'm coming to your place"? Like that
Yeah,
was
so I went down to the Louisville Pinball Expo in, I think,
okay.
March or February last year,
Mhm.
and I just kinda spent the whole weekend either just kinda hanging out with them at their booth or at the Flippin' Out booth and just going back and forth, and we were just, hanging and talking, and we're both from Wisconsin, and I'm only a couple hours north of them, and I was like, "Hey, I'd really like to come down and see the factory sometime." They talked about their new.
Where in Wisconsin are you?
I'm in near Stevens Point, Wisconsin. It's right there in the center along the river,
You
about an
by
hour and a half
Appleton?
north of
You by
Madison.
Appleton?
Appleton's about an hour and a half. Madison's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
Green
you're in
Bay,
the center of everywhere.
right in
Yeah.
the
My
middle.
my sister lives in Appleton, so
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll swing by
ne
and say hi. I was just
next
out
time
there.
next time I come out, I'll have to swing by and play your Big Lebowski.
Absolutely, come by. Yeah, the Doncade is firing on all cylinders, man. It's a V10, man.
Oof.
Yeah, but I was just talking to him, and said, "Hey, I got this podcast. Maybe I can come down and get an interview or something." So they said, "Sure." So I had my Scooby on order. It was just recently available, so I went down there. They gave me a whole factory tour. They bought me
Mhm.
lunch. They let me, to see like their whole works and everything. And then we did like what people thought was an awesome interview too, and I was just asking the questions that I was curious about. And then they said, "Hey, we should come up and stream sometime," because Spooky's just got into streaming on Twitch, and they were looking to stream a Rick and Morty. I had one with a Jerry ramp, and yeah, they came on up and we had a blasty blast.
Mhm. And they hadn't seen it before you streamed, right?
Right,
Like
right. Yeah,
they actually hadn't seen the Jerry Ramp.
correct. Yeah. So it was fun watching them, try it out, and they really liked it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're gonna be hitting you up to like
Yeah.
make it if they ever redo Rick and Morty, they're gonna be like, by the way,
Oh,
Yeah.
can
yeah,
you do
they
the
did
Jerry
mention that.
ramp?
That comes up all the time. People ask them, like, "Just do another run of Rick and Morty, pull a JP 30th on it and just run them." And they're like, "No, we're holding to our word. We're not making any more." But they're in good with the licensing folks with Warner
Sure.
Brothers, who owns Adult
Mhm.
Swim and everything. And they said if there's demand and we get a lot of people asking for it, they may just do another Rick and Morty game. They would
Mm.
revisit that license and do something completely new and different. So if people want that, let them know.
Right. Interesting.
I'll get that out there. Like a whole game based on blips and chips or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
the in-universe arcade, yeah, with the Roy game, but like really expand on that. Man, I got so many ideas.
Next thing you know, you're gonna be getting up for a job. You're gonna be doing that'll be your side hustle. You'll be
Yeah.
working for Spooky while also doing all this stuff too.
Let's do it. I'd be down. Benton's an
Doing
awesome town.
mods for Spooky. Okay, so you said that you have a now, do you have a Scooby Doo? Have you played it? Like, I know you've played it,
Oh
but
yes, I,
okay.
I have it. Number 753 Butter Cabinet is the collector's edition is downstairs in the arcade right now.
Okay. How's the reception on it? Because I still have yet to play it.
Oh man, so yeah, I played it. I played one of the first ones that came out of the factory. It went on location in Madison, because it's nearby. Actually, live streamed that on Facebook. That was fun, and it's great. I mean, seeing it in location and at the expos is one thing, but like getting it in your house, that wide
Mhm.
body with all the sculpts that are in there, not just flat plastics. Back alley creations, created like whole castle sculpts and the
Yep.
portcullis and everything. The game plays like it's not a brutal game. Like it's a different type of game. It's not
Sure. Yeah.
necessarily easy.
It's an easy rider game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
fun.
mean, if you're a tournament player, you could probably play it for hours at a time. But
Sure.
it's challenging. The theme is really integrated into it, and it's like the game that has my 12-year-old daughter actually asking to play with me. So that was pretty
Mhm.
revolutionary. She's
Yeah.
typically like not really. She's too cool for the Don's pinball arcade downstairs, or playing with dad. But that was one where she's like, "Come play with me," and she
Mhm.
starts screaming when she gets the Captain Cutler multi ball. It's like it was fun. So it's a good game to have in my lineup. Like it fits perfectly. I love the theme. The art is on point. It's like, someone took Alice Cooper's Nightmare Castle and just expanded on that idea. You
Mhm.
know, made the shots, more forgiving, more fun, less rejecty, but still kind of keep that aesthetic, but then make it family friendly.
Mhm. I
Nice.
bet it earns pretty well on location, actually.
Yeah, I've heard that from some operators. Yeah, it's a fun game. I've got it dialed in now. One of the only issues I would notice on location sometimes because it uses the auto launcher. Sometimes
Mhm.
it wouldn't hit right, and the ball would rattle, and it would lose energy, and it would take a couple shots to get up there. That
Mhm.
happened to mine. All I had to do was make sure that the forks were aligned, and now it's like the best launching one I've ever played. So
Mm.
yeah, and then the guys are aware of the issue. They're working on it. And so yeah, that's really the only thing I've seen with it. otherwise, it's been playing great out of the box. Like, we love it.
Awesome.
Nice.
And just
That's awesome.
getting the Mystery Machine multi-ball and having the Scooby-Doo theme just come on, through Spooky's sound system in your home is fantastic.
Dom, I don't want to shortchange you on what talking about you, but we do have a list of stuff we want to kind of go over, and I figure let's start at the top of this list and see what your thoughts along with ours. So,
Sure.
did you see the new mystery company posting their what was it, the LCD and what was
They
it, the
posted a lockdown
bars?
bar, a powder coated lockdown bar that looked like a kind of a copper color.
Yeah.
And then they actually had an LCD in the back box that was updating. It said updating, but you could see a reflection down. Now it seemed like most of the playfield was covered, which I'm sure was intentional, and you could see a little bit of the wire forms. But I love wire forms. I know, Don, on your last podcast, you were talking about the wire forms, and so I'm excited to see the ball because I love just seeing the ball move. Seeing the ball move takes me back to when I first wanted a pinball machine. It was because I watched Sesame Street, and Sesame Street had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yes.
11, 12. Yeah, it had the pinball thing that went around, and I thought that's the coolest thing ever. And yeah, that's it looks really cool. So I'm just curious to see, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is a remake, or do you think it's an original concept?
Oh. Yeah,
With
I didn't think of that take there. Yeah. Yeah, seeing it, I saw the back box innards, and I can't make heads or tails of that really. But yeah, I did go back and see that reflection. And for me, any kind of like vehicle on a track I'm into, whether it's a roller coaster, a monorail, a dark ride, log flume, or pinball tracks. So I have no idea. I didn't even consider that it could be like an old remake of something from the exclamation point company, because they don't have a name, but they have this exclamation point logo.
Mystery Company.
Maybe they're just called Mystery Pinball.
maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious, actually.
But you can see wire forms down by the right flip, because it's mirrored. You can see it down by the right flipper, and you can also see one by the upper. Down by the left flipper and then the upper right of the play field. So I'm trying to figure out if there's an existing game that would have those wire forms.
Well, and the other reason it could be a remake, if you look at the circuit boards, they're Fast Pinball. So that's our friend Aaron over at Fast Pinball.
That's true. Yeah.
And then been using his boards in the Haggis games. So, Centaur and Fathom. So it's a good possibility this could be a remake, whatever they're showing us. I do love that it's an LCD. It looks very sternish. I feel like that's going to get some bonus points down the road. And I think it's going to be easier to accept. And another thing too, my understanding, there's more than one mystery company. So this is company doing
a mystery company.
Yes, but there's another one that hasn't revealed themselves yet either. So, which is interesting because we had Tilt Bob reveal back around Pinball Expo, or not Pinball Expo, Texas Pinball Festival.
Road trip.
Now, who did Ninja Eclipse?
Oh, Turner, right?
Yeah, Turner. So they revealed themselves at Expo as well. At Texas Pinball Festival.
TPF.
Yeah. So it's interesting, especially with the market. We can definitely see the market. The bubble may not have burst, but the market has deflated.
Softening. It's softening.
Yeah, it's softening.
Yeah, it's not.
And so it's going to be interesting to see where this is all heading, especially that we know there is a Twilight remake coming too. That's been
it's been rumored forever. So
I could have swore someone sent some pictures of them.
That's been like
built.
a long-standing, like, hey, they're gonna make this. So
yeah,
they keeps changing. Yeah, who it's gonna be?
Yeah,
maybe Pinball Circus, is that who it was that was making Mafia and then remaking the
geez, like the Capcom, the Kingpin, and I haven't heard anything from that, so I think that one's dead.
What's funny is they originally were trying to make Pinball Circus. So if you've never seen a Pinball Circus, go to well,
Well,
IPDB or whatever.
maybe,
There's
yeah.
only 2 or 3 in the world. One of them
Mhm.
is in the Pinball Hall of Fame in Vegas,
Yeah.
which wasn't working when I went a couple months ago.
The last couple times I've been to the Pinball Hall of Fame, it's been down, so.
But they want to remake Pinball Circus for the mass, and then they decide they're going to make Pinball, not Pinball Mafia. What is it?
Capcom. It's,
It's Kingpin.
Kingpin.
Yes,
Kingpin.
they were going to make
Cool game.
Kingpin to help raise funds so they could make Pinball Circus,
Yeah.
and we haven't heard much since. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good to see that pinball people are still making pinball, and I hope that when these launch, they do well. My understanding is these mystery companies are, I mean, as you can see from the photos, they're building them to pretty much have them ready. So when they actually do show, they're going to say, "Hey, these are shipping today," which I think is brilliant. I think
You
that's
have
really the
to.
only,
Yeah.
it's the only avenue you can take. So
Yeah, there are, unless you have a game that people know about. So Cactus Canyon is actually finally it's coming out. It's a great game. It's a fun game. It's high quality, but it's surprising that people were willing to wait that long because pinball attention is very short.
Mhm.
And people move from game to game so quickly. And we talked about this that or Don, I think you talked about this that Foo Fighters, it's a great game, and they made a ton of them, and now people are thinking, okay, well, we're going to move that game and get another one, and so there's a surplus of used games out there, which
Yeah,
hasn't been the situation for 3 years.
yeah, I just cursorily took a glance at Foo Fighter Premium the other day, and I saw there was like 14 of them just on Pinside, and they
Yeah,
were adding to every day. Not
yeah.
because it's a bad game, and there's
No.
still mode updates to come, but if Jaws is around the corner, or Indiana Jones or any of these like AAA titles, like people want to make room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm optimistic that by the time the Pulp Fiction LEs come out, people will actually be dumping their pre-order spots for whatever the new thing is, and I could scoop one up.
Right.
yeah, well, and it's just like, we were part of that kind of, it was a media blitz from P3 because they were doing another soft relaunch of Final Resistance because it
Mm-hmm.
kind of got weighed down with the 7 other machines that was released at Texas Pinball Festival.
That
Yeah.
was nuts. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
every couple of days, here's another game. Here's another game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did you get your GTF though?
No, sir. No, I didn't go in on that. I was trying to work a deal to trade my Halloween for one, but then it ended up not going through, and I'm okay on that for right now.
I'm wondering how many like it frustrates me when a company I think has the best of intentions but is not producing to the volume that we would hope they would. And American Pinball seems to be falling into that category where we just haven't heard anything from them.
Where are the
Like
tanks?
we
You know?
yeah, where are they? So
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be less than 100 made because I
yeah,
can't think of many arcades that have one on location. I think it's a great location game, because
sure.
this is something maybe the home people aren't rushing out to buy them, but they would go out and play them on location. And if I had a
I
location,
play it
I would.
on location. Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally get one. I think it would earn well. I don't think David Fix was wrong when he said some places it's out earning Foo Fighters on location, but that's probably
Hmm.
because everybody has a Foo Fighters at home or a friend,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
don't have a GTF. So
Hmm.
let's play the dang thing. I do like playing it. It frustrates me, but every time I step up, I'm like, all right, I'm really going to enjoy this. I love the lights. I like the music. The art is good. Franchi did a great job on it. And then, balls start jumping off the wire forms and rolling over the plastics. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you have to strangle you game.
well, speaking of companies trying to move pinball machines,
Sure.
if that's not a great segue, I don't know what is.
Dun dun dun.
Stern Pinball moved into their new huge factory. And this, if you have not watched the video on Facebook, this thing is massive.
Hmm.
It is crazy to see that they're in a space this big. And I actually got some insider information on this as well.
Let's hear it.
So I guess it wasn't necessarily Stern idea to move to the bigger factory. The one that they just left, I guess there is a giant T1 internet line going right next to that building, and some software company that needs access to the fastest speeds of internet you can to buy or rent or whatever you want to call it. They approached the landlord, said, "Hey, we want this building." The landlord said, "Hey, the people moving in will pay to help move you." And then Schwamberg's like, "We'll help move you too because it's money for the city as well because that's a big,
Elk
you know,
Grove. Elk Grove.
Oh, Elk Grove, sorry.
Mhm.
And so it just turned into this, like, it was a win-win-win for everyone. And so I don't know how much CERN actually paid going into this building, but it seems like they were very well taken care of to move to this place. And not only that, like, yeah, they'll have a bigger overhead now because obviously we've
Right.
seen how big this place is.
Cost
So
Mhm.
there's that slight concern, but moving from building to building
Mhm.
usually costs you a ton of money. That's why a lot of people don't like to move. It seems like Stern got the better end of the deal on this move. So it's really great to see them getting this. This was just crazy random happenstance that happened to him. So, and I've been told it's only like 3 or 4 buildings down from their old building too. So
Okay, so here's the question. Anytime something big happens, what are the possible downsides of moving?
you've got to figure out how to just get that line going again and get it
Mhm.
efficiently. And I think things break in moving. I mean, you've got giant expensive equipment, and there's just you got downtime. You're not producing machines. So I know the last time they moved, they said it'd only take a couple weeks. It ended up taking about 3 full months before they were back to 100% capacity.
Right.
And granted, like I said, I mean, it's not 3 buildings, maybe it's 3 blocks, but still, it's fairly close to their old building, and so the move isn't as hard on them. They're not moving clear across town or
Yeah,
whatever
they're not
this time.
moving from Jersey.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess this has really helped move as well. So
I mean, I think like the banner year they've been having, or banner year and a half, has really helped too.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like they were
yeah,
struggling and had to move in the middle of a struggle.
Yeah,
it's true.
the one challenge I can think of is anytime you scale up. So that's the big problem in business. You want to have some sort of flexibility to scale up and scale down. And as long as the new company and the new location, because the square footage is enormous, as long
Yeah,
as that is a benefit, then great. But what happens when things turn? Is the increased footprint of their factory going to end up biting them? Because I'm wondering, I doubt they're getting it for the same price. So the rent has to go up, the heating has to go, everything has to go up with it. But I could be completely wrong on that, but that's my main concern with that. And also moving while you're still selling a lot of games.
yeah. My understanding, it's about 1.5 times more than what they were paying now.
Right.
I don't. That's just a number that was tossed
Okay,
out
so
to me.
that's
I
a
don't know how accurate that is, but
that's a 50% increase in your overhead. And
yep,
anybody who runs a business knows that that's substantial.
yeah, yep.
So
So
they have to move more machines to pay for that.
yep,
Either that or develop,
definitely,
more product lines or something.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, expression lights, maybe get those out. Maybe there's still some demand for those.
More toppers.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, rent out that space for storage to other companies or something, have it as a
That's
flex
true.
space.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I don't understand why they're not producing more accessories. I mean, look at toppers; they're selling them for like $1,000 a
Yeah.
pop, and,
And the
like
markup
it's
on those
huge.
has to be like, okay, the caveat is I don't know how much it cost them to build it. Okay. But there's no chance that they are not okay. There's little chance that they are not making a killing percentage wise on what the toppers cost to make versus what they sell them for.
But the shipping's a lot less. The overhead on's a lot less versus a
Hmm.
pinball machine.
Right.
Obviously, you need to sell the pinball machine
Right.
to have the accessory, but it seems like quick, may not easy money, but it seems like it could be quick, well, easy
It's certainly
money.
a good alternative revenue source.
Yes, yes,
Certainly, yeah,
and
and
they
I don't think like the volume is quite there. Like a Little Tikes play set or something that's about the same size that you can get injection molded from China and sell tens of thousands of
yeah,
them.
Right.
But still, yeah, something's got to be said for like the demand is there. There shouldn't be a reason that what you could build enough for enough demand minus one or something.
yeah, or even because expression lighting, it's across all music pins. Why don't they hit those harder
Right.
too? Like you were
That
saying?
seems crazy because that's such a focus on all of the music pins. Like
If I
it
could, I'd put it on my Foo Fighters, but it's a Pro, so I don't have that option.
right.
So
Oh, that's right. They did away with it with the pros. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
I've got some Led Zeppelin lights in my premium.
Yeah. In your premium, in your Foo Fighters
Foo
premium.
Fighters premium. Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I got
Nice.
those early on. I saw them pop up on Pinside, so I snatched them.
Yeah,
But Pin Stadium's coming out with their own version of it. I've got
sure.
them on order, so I was going to try them out, and then just kind of see. I have regular Pin Stadiums on right now, which I like the effect, but I don't like that they kind of hang over into the play field. You have to remove them
Mhm.
to the play field.
I I had some in, and that was my challenge with Black Rose because you kind of have to get under the playfield a lot on Black Rose,
Yeah.
and so it became a little challenging just to take them on and off. And eventually, I just put some invisible glass on there, and that really helped out. So it's yeah, I know they're the new. That was a very old version. The newer profile, I think, is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But still, I'm excited about, the Pin Stadium type tech, but it fits into that groove, so you can
Hmm.
lift the play field, move it around without having to take them off every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll try them out and I'll let everybody know what I think.
Sounds great. Well, I want to hurry and wish a happy birthday to Scott. He just had his birthday a couple days ago.
Yay.
Appreciate everyone reaching out on Facebook and hitting up our post with his twin, his doppelganger, Colin McAlpine.
Yeah. Colin's a much better player than me. I'm like the troll version of Chimp Flippin'. Yeah.
All you got to do is get him some platform shoes and some contacts, and just he could enter as you into a tournament and just place as Scott Larson.
It's possible, but yeah, no. Colin is Colin's also one of the nicest guys on the planet. Just in case
Yes.
you've never ran into him. So yeah,
I don't know if you saw that picture of him, but he looked like Fabio before he started being the director over the Texas Pinball Festival tournament. But apparently, he lost all of his hair and his height because of be a tournament director. So
and apparently being Italian, because isn't Fabio Italian?
something like that too. We must
Yeah.
have lost the Italian.
Yeah, nope. 49 now. It's I'm solidly in the dad rock demographic. So
Heck yes, sir.
let's get Journey. Let's get Bon Jovi. Let's get Def Leppard. Probably be on board with the Motley Crue. That would be challenging, but all those 80s glory bands. We need to
I
get
thought we
them
were
all.
skipping all that because they came out Food Fighters, and now that we're hitting 90s, we're skipping all that to go to
Yeah,
the
but they
90s.
went back with Led Zeppelin. So
We're gonna have Green Day. We're gonna have Sum
Oh, man.
41. We're gonna have Linkin Park.
Wu-Tang.
mhm.
Yeah, Wu Tang, Beastie Boys.
I'm
No,
still gonna I have a perennial ask for Jimmy Buffett at some point. Margaritaville.
yes,
Oh,
Like,
mhm.
yep.
I think it would slam. I don't know, maybe that's just for me personally. Maybe that'll be my homebrew project, but would love that.
Absolutely.
I think with his passing, I saw a ton of pinball people that are like, "We're gonna miss you," and I was like, maybe this is their
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah, I mean, I got that volcano at the end of the play field that ejects balls for the multi-ball down the wire form ramp,
I
margarita
think he would
bucket
be
somewhere.
more well received than Prince, and Prince was more expensive than the Beatles. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
but well, I'm gonna move on. Expo expectations. What we thinking?
I know that there has been speculation that Stern's going to announce a game. Possible. But I'm going to go on the line and say that there's no chance that it's a cornerstone.
No,
There's a possibility that it's a vault edition of some sort or just a run of an older thing. So maybe maybe like a vault edition of Stranger Things or something like that. But
yeah.
it'll be small. Whatever, if there is an announcement, it will have a minimal impact on what their schedule is because there's no chance they're going to throw in a monster release right after Venom because Venom was released in the soft spot of the lineup in that it's a summer release. Typically, they struggle more to sell volume and Venom it's a challenging sell because it's totally different than anything else in pinball because it's more of a video game version of pinball which they needed to do at some point but it's so hard to get people to adapt as Marty has always said people in pinball are always saying the same thing we want new but not that and, and I think that the Foo Fighters, or sorry, that Venom is going through that a little bit in that it is a completely different approach to a game. And if it's already struggling to sell as much as I would imagine, to be considered a success. But maybe this was their test case, right? This is patient zero. They're trying to see if there's something they can do, possibly, and I concern about this, but I know it's got to be coming, like DLC content and kind of a microtransactions or whatever, because this is a new way. This is the wave of so many games in the future that if pinball keeps releasing the same things, eventually the dad rock population is going to get old and die.
Yep.
And then where are you going to be? So that's my take on Expo, and at least Stern's part. You guys can run with that, or you can run with whatever else you want on pinball predictions.
Sure, yeah, I'll take off on that. Yeah, so I see Venom in the code of like this progressive play, log in, go up levels, and then, if you can't beat the boss with 10 shots at level 10, you get to level 20 and it's only 5 or something. But now take that concept of like creating a profile, building up levels, and apply it to Pokemon, right? Where you can collect and unlock, all 150 Pokemon characters, level up your Squirtle, evolve them. And then when you go to arcade, you can lock in and play your character at your level or whatever. And maybe the whole playfield lighting changes to whatever type Pokemon you are. Now, I don't think that's going to be, this November, December release that's announced at Expo. I think there will be something announced. I think, we've heard the rumors that the production schedule in November and into December has been opened up, and we don't know what's filling up in there. The Star Wars and the Bond runs were pushed over to January, February, or March. So I think we may see something, but I agree. I don't think it would be a cornerstone, but who knows? It might be, anything from a Kapow title to a Vault, I think would be the two most likely things.
I can guarantee it's not a cornerstone. I mean, you'd be cutting out the legs out from Venom at this point.
You'd kill Venom. Yeah.
And you can't, especially if the rumor is Elwyn is next. I'm curious though if he's going to be able to overcome the Winter Curse. If you don't know what the Winter Curse is about, check out our episode 55 when we talk about the Winter Curse on there. But as far as Expo expectations, I'm intrigued to see Pinball Adventures. I know that they have stated that they're going to have elements there, so it's going to be interesting to see that game. And also Punny Factory. I haven't played that yet. I hope Ryan McQuaid brings his Sonic Pinball, because that game is awesome.
It's fun.
It always had a line, and it was funny because I was playing it.
Did you ever play it?
I did
play it, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. It's actually an awesome theme integration game.
Yes,
definitely. It was certainly on the easier side, because it was a homebrew, and the ramps were wide open because I could hit them easily without even modifying my shots. That just shows you how easy it was. But it was still, like, thematically, it was awesome. Like, it felt like it felt like a very high end homebrew that could be modified and transitioned toward a production. You definitely have to tweak the playfield to make it more challenging.
Yeah.
But what a great theme.
Do you think Spooky will have something there? I know it's only been 10 months since Scooby-Doo, and they're still producing them, but do you think we start getting some hype for their next game?
So I don't think so. Not at Expo.
Yeah, no.
TPF, more likely.
Right.
Talking to the guys, I don't know what their next theme is, and I didn't press them too hard on it. I want to be surprised too. I don't know how many units of Scooby-Doo they've sold, only that it's not sold out. But, speculating wise, they're in the 900s or so with the build. If they sold 1,500 or 1,600 games, they're over halfway. They did claim that. So with them making 26 games a week, I would expect them by March to maybe have something new for the line. I know their new production facility will be going online around that time. So there's potential for TPF or something for Spooky, but I don't think we're going to see anything new announced at Expo.
Yeah, it's hard to say anything will be, because I mean it was hit so hard in March for TPF,
Right.
and it's the only two I can think of is Stern. Might have an announcement there. I mean, for sure, we know Pinball Venture will, because they have said we're going to have elements there at.
They're taking deposits. That just went live.
Yeah, that just did go live, and I'm impressed at their price points. Their high end 7,000, their low end's what, 662?
Mm-hmm.
Don't quote me.
But I mean, that includes shipping.
Yeah, and so that was kind of a shocker as well. I just was like, huh, it'll be interesting to see. And they're only making 125 of these games. $6,500 for the standard, $7,000 for the night edition. $500 non-refundable deposit is required to place order. I mean, that's what Spooky's doing. So I guess Spooky doesn't do that. I apologize. Some of the distributors for Spooky have been asking for non-refundable deposits. So, anywho, it's going to be an interesting expo. I'm glad to at least play Venom there. I haven't seen a Venom out in the wild yet. So, yeah.
Are we going to see anything from JJP, do you think?
Ooh, good question.
Here's my speculation, because if there's Ellie's of Godfather inbox, looking for buyers, is there a need to run more of those? And then if they're running out of production for the CEs, are they going to have a line that needs to have something to go on it?
Right.
It's a possibility.
There's a question about distributors basically not picking up new allotments, because you can always sell games as long as distributors are willing to stockpile them.
Correct.
But you had so many games that right now are readily available from multiple distributors, which tells me that distributors are stocked up, at least right now. So if they're stocked up, then JJP doesn't want to sit on, 100 to 200 games, because that's just stuff that they are not going to be moving anytime soon. So it makes sense for them to get Elton John out there and to see what the demand is on that, and then they could always run more of the Godfather as need demands.
Yep, I agree. Well, I want to play a game. I know, Don, this is your first time on our podcast, but we occasionally do what's called segment steal, where we steal someone else's segment from a different show. And it kind of is an homage and honor to them. If you haven't listened to Slap Save Pinball, I don't know if you can actually find them on podcatchers anymore.
Maybe.
You have to ask Jason Fowler. It was a wonderful show, pretty awesome takes. Anywho, they used to do what was called Flip Bolt Torch. If you're not familiar with this game, what it is we pick a year in pinball. We go through the list of the pinball machines that were made that year. We decide which one we would get just to specifically flip, which one we would bolt to the floor, and which one we would torch, or you could throw off the roof like Todd Tucky. Which I gotta say, just 2 seconds, weird side tangent. I was looking at Todd Tucky's top videos. Do you know there's only like one video in his top 10 that actually has pinball in it? The rest are like arcades and like pachinko machines. Like a pachinko machine is his number one viewed video. It's really weird. But him throwing that pinball machine off the roof,
which wasn't it Street Fighter? Like, I recall it being something like that.
I don't want now that you say that, I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know which game it was. I don't want to say it was Street Fighter though, but it makes me chuckle. Like, that's really sad that like Todd Tucky is probably one of the most synonymous names with pinball that I know. Like, whenever I was looking for a pinball machine, you type it in, and I swear TNT Amusements would come up, and you would see whatever game, and Todd's hollering at people, but it's weird that his top 10 videos, pinball's in like one of them, and so it was kind of goofy. Anywho, so we're gonna play Flip Bolt Torch. We decided on the year. We just picked a year at random.
Mm-hmm.
What year did we pick, Scott?
We picked a banner year for pinball, my friends. We picked the blockbuster of 2007.
Ooh. Yes.
So this is basically the dark days, the wilderness, the lone and dreary wilderness, the wasteland of pinball, where it was on life support. So that's where we are.
So I'm going to read off this list, and we've decided that because there's some really obscure games in this year, and
okay, are you going to read off the list, or are you going to let us choose?
So let me read off the list, and then you can choose from the list.
Okay.
Obviously, the audience, if you want to play along, you can. Just we'll make a post of this later, or you can post it on this episode's link on our Facebook or Instagram, wherever you want. Just remember, you're picking one to flip, one to bolt, one to torch. Okay, these are the games. Big Bang Bar. This was the remake. This was Gene Cunningham making the last 191 of these games.
By the way, great article. If you ever, I think the article was written "When Pigs Fly." It was someone who went through the background on the remake of Big Bang Bar. Excellent read. You can find it. Just Google it.
Also, Chris Bucci, if you haven't checked him out, he's on YouTube. He did an unboxing of Big Bang Bar when it came out in 2007. He had bought one. and it's crazy because like Gene Cunningham dumped. I guess it wasn't even a remake. Let me apologize. When Capcom went under, they only made like 10 Big Bang
Right.
Bars. I want to
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
Well, Gene Cunningham bought up the rights because there was 191 parts for full machines. And so
Mm-hmm.
he decided that he was going to make the last 191 and sell them off. And supposedly the first of that 191, it's like all gold plated underneath I can't remember. And it's all signed by everyone that worked on it. If you ever find this thing, I want to see
If you
pictures
have
of it.
one of these, let us know. I'd love to see pictures or to play it.
Definitely. Okay. So Big Bang Bar,
Okay.
Dell Jr., which is NASCAR remade. That's Pat Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
Family Guy, which, then Shrek came after that.
Mm-hmm.
We're including this even though there was only one made.
Good morning, America.
I want it.
Thank you, Scott. We're going to include these, but we're not. I don't know. There's Zizzles.
Yeah. Okay.
So
You know what? We can get whatever we want. I mean,
yeah,
it's
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 true.
our year, right?
Marvel superheroes and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. If you've never seen a Zizzle, you can pick one up for like $300 off of eBay.
Hey, by the way, you can have. When are you going to pick up the turtles Zizzle that's at my place?
Next time I'm out there.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Spider-Man black suit. Do we combine that as one? Let's just do Spider-Man black suit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Wheel of Fortunes. Not really a ton of pinball came out that year. Big Bang Bar, Dell junior
Mhm.
Family Guy, Good Morning America.
Ultimate Golf Ball Frenzy.
Oh, wow.
Whatever that is. I'm not. It says it's a converted game. Solid state electronics. It must be like this conversion was done by High End Pins of Indian Trail, North Carolina.
Oh, so
The game
okay.
was used in a
Yeah,
benefit
that's HEP.
auction.
I didn't realize that was HEP. Yeah, I mean his games are amazing.
They are amazing, but the weird part is when you click on the flyer,
Yeah.
May will actually show it. I was going to say it was not showing. Was it HEP? Yeah, High End Pins. Is he in North Carolina?
Yeah, he's in North Carolina.
We even interviewed this man. I can't remember where he lives.
Yeah, no, it was North Carolina. Yeah.
Anywho, I guess we could put that one on the list if you want to, but I don't know exactly what was. It's a sports, golfing, motorcycles, transportation. The flyer for some reason on my end is not working whatsoever.
Yeah, mine's taking a while too.
Okay,
all right.
Okay, we're not going to include it just because we can't even see pictures of this thing. So
okay, who wants to go first? Josh, Josh, you want to go first?
I want to go first. I was going to say the guest goes first. They get the honor of,
I'll go
doing
first.
it.
Okay, go ahead, Don.
So from this entire list, I got to pick the 3, right? And
Yep.
then what are my options again?
Okay, let's start out. We'll start out with flip. So which one would you solely get to turn around and flip?
Oh, well, this is Big Bang Bar. If I was just looking for a flipping to make money, yeah, I think so. I don't know if I'd get much for a Family Guy.
I'm right there with you. I would have to, as much as Big Bang Bar is one of those grail pins for people. I just think that's what you have to do.
And I don't think it's a very good game. I think it's rare. I think it's worth a lot. I think it's sought after, but I don't know that it's that engaging.
Right.
I mean, I've only played it virtually, but yeah.
So
okay, so the one I am going to buy to flip or pick up is Ultimate Golf Frenzy because it's one of a kind. It's a HEP game, which if you look at his blog, he is meticulous, and so that game's got to be amazing, better than fresh off the line, and you will find a customer for that one. So I'm definitely picking that one up to flip.
Gotcha. Okay. What game are you bolting to the floor there, Don?
One of the Zizzles for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Here, no. This is an easy choice for me. Good Morning America is getting bolted to my floor because it's so weird. I've got to have that just to talk about.
Oh man,
That back
you
glass?
stole mine.
Come on.
You stole mine. You
Great
stole my
minds.
Good Morning America. So you can't because I'm already taking it. I already texted Josh Sharp because he's in the picture.
Yeah.
And I said, "Where is the Good Morning America right now?"
Oh, I was assuming
He
Josh Sharp
laughed. He's
came
like,
with it. I'd bolt him too.
Yeah, absolutely. No, Josh Sharp is the topper. He actually comes and he plays with you. Okay, the best part, if you have not seen the clip, it's like a minute and a half, and Josh is casually talking to Robin. I don't know her last name. I'm sorry, but she's the host. And he's sitting there flipping, and she keeps asking him questions, and he just casually traps up and turns and talks to her during the interview. Like,
Pause.
he just traps up the ball because obviously you do not want to lose those points on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
When you have a good game going.
Absolutely no. I'm GC it.
If
All
I'm bolting a game, I am doing Spider-Man.
Okay.
Black Suit Edition, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
it's a
okay.
great game.
I like the other back class. I actually had the other one. I still love the game. It was time to move on, but I still love that game. But yes, I the black suit is it's a more valuable version, but definitely fun. Yeah.
Well, you could go Black Suit with the original back class.
That's
too,
true. You could. Chrome.
All right, Scott, which one are you bolting?
No, I'm bolting Good Morning America. I said Josh Sharp comes as the topper, so I'm taking him.
I thought you were joking.
No,
Okay.
I'm totally loving that.
All right, which one are you going Todd Tucky style with and throwing off a roof or lighting on fire, Don?
Let's go with between Wheel of Fortune and Family Guy. I think I would chuck Family Guy just because I don't like that upper pinball playfield thing. And it'd probably make a funny noise when it fell. And Wheel of Fortune is weird enough that I might actually want to hang on to it.
I'm gonna group a few together. So I'm gonna chuck off every Zizzle game because there's no chance any of us are playing that for longer than 5 minutes. And I think we could probably get those more airborne off the roof than actually a standard game.
Yep.
But yeah, man, I really want like Family. I have a sore spot with Family Guy just because I bought it because I love Shrek and I thought this would be a great theme. And I bought it and I opened it up and I started playing it. I hadn't played it before. It was early in the hobby. And I knew after the first game that I had made a horrible mistake. It just was not a fun game. I realized I don't like upper playfields.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I think I'm definitely launching a combination of Family Guy and Marvel superheroes and Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End Zizzles.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I think my mom bought a Pirates of the
Oh
Caribbean at
wow.
World's End because it was like $100, and she's like, "We get a pinball machine," and I was like, "That's not a pinball machine."
It looks like something that should shoot out a gumball when you drain.
Well, what's funny too is you could pick it up and shake it, and it had no tilt bob in it, so it was like if you can hit something, you just pick it up, roll around till you get it in the spot, and you were good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. By the way, to answer your question, Scott, you were right. One, there was a ton of machines they threw off their roof, but TNT did throw off a Street Fighter 2. They
That's
threw
right.
off Bad Girls. They
Oh
threw off
man. Bad Girls
Lax,
is awesome. Yeah. Okay, Street Fighter 2 you can chuck off, but
Yeah.
a
man.
Last Action Hero.
Yeah, not much of a loss.
What the heck is this one? It's a Gottlieb racing game. It's got what is this?
Yeah, those are all turds. The later Gottliebs are all turds.
Is it like a Mario Andretti? I can't tell what the heck it is. The problem is they're tossing these off the roof so quickly that
Right.
and they're not really like showing pictures of them and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Don, you said you played Street Fighter 2. Who was your
Yes.
character?
Oh God. It's probably just Ryu.
Okay.
Yeah, throwing fireballs, classic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or Blanca, just because he was off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remind me of Jen Ann from Samurai Showdown. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Street Fighter 2 was legit, but I was more Mortal Kombat if I was going to come down between them.
Yeah, I was a Street Fighter 2 guy. So that came out when I was in high school. I probably dumped hundreds of dollars into that game. And I was pretty good at Chun-Li. That was my
Okay, yeah.
I stunk at every other one. But
Yeah,
I was really good at her.
spinning bird kick. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a Mario Andretti. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Josh is back. Back to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he threw off.
Oh my goodness. Well, what were your guys' takes? We want to definitely know in the comments, whether it be here on YouTube, whether it be on our Facebook, our Instagram. We want to know what you guys. I think collectively the pinball community is just going to say, torch all the Zizzles. Just throw them in a bonfire.
I think they should vault them. To be honest.
Well, good call. Good call.
I bet Costco would be up for that. They'd be dying to do that all over again.
Yeah.
I think with mods, I think we could turn this into something.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Okay, Josh, talk about the hats because you posted the link.
I did. Don, for coming on, we're getting you a hat and I'm bringing it to you at Expo. Yes. But if you're not on our show, you got to get the hat the other way. The way to do it right now is I've posted on all of our socials. I know on Facebook it's like our top post, but it takes you to a link of where you can enter. Like it shows you all the new hats that we've done. I've got this one here. This is a black snapback with the Loser Kid logo, and then it's adjustable in the back. This one's not fitted, but then we have there's a white one. The weird part is on the pictures of the white one, the logo's center. It's not going to be center when you get it. It's actually going to be on the right side.
Yeah.
Unless I'll ask the people that have ordered it, but they messed up on the sample.
We usually are off center. I mean, that's the whole point of being Loser Kid, right?
Yep. And then the hat that Scott is wearing are our traditional 3930 new era that, has been around since the beginning.
The 2.0 green version.
Yep. You can still get the 2.0s, or we're doing a 3.0 where it's a white hat and then black stitching, or a white hat with red stitching.
I love the 3.0, the black stitching. Yes. Looks good.
It's funny because everyone that has ordered it, most of them have been the white or like the grays. But everyone that has been on our show, because traditionally, if you come on our show, we usually give you a hat, and everyone's gone snapback on that. So it's interesting. It's kind of weird that it's so I guess all the pinball people in the industry want snapbacks, and everyone that isn't in the industry wants the fitted. So, but they're nice hats. Like we had Kerry Hardy on a couple episodes ago, and he swears by it's the most comfortable hat he's ever owned.
Awesome. They're awesome hats.
Yes. So if you want a hat, that's the way to get it. You can get all of our swag too on silverballswag.com/loserkid.
Get your shoes. Take pictures with Josh.
Yep. And actually, it sounds like we're getting a button-up shirt as well.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. Like my Super Mario Sunshine shirt. So anyhow, well, Don, if you want people to get a hold of you or buy your mods, or how do you do all that?
Yeah, just email me, donspinballpodcast@gmail.com, or follow the Facebook page is a good way to get out to me. Slide into my DMs if you want. I've got a Patreon available for $5 a month. Also, Don's Pinball Podcast. If you want to get there, if you're a $5 a month subscriber, you get free stickers whenever you want. Otherwise, I'll send them out to you for $5. A whole stack of stickers. Shirts I got for $25 shipped in the US. So just holler at me, dude. We'll work a deal.
Nice. That's awesome. And if you want to get a hold of us, we are loserkidpinballpodcast@gmail.com, at loserkidpinball on all the socials. So Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Oh, what else is out there? Twitch, Twitter. Oh, I guess Twitter is X. I apologize. Anywho, if you'll do me a favor, though, I know a lot of people, our content reaches a lot of people. I mean, we get anywhere from about 6,000 to 12,000 reaches within about a 2-week to 4-week period, and we only have like 900 people that have liked us on Facebook and 100 people on YouTube. If you're enjoying our content, hit the like button, hit the follow button, or the subscribe button, wherever it may be. We really appreciate it. It's kind of funny because like we had Martin Gonzalez on, which he's part of the 99% Invisible podcast, and we were talking about like they have like over 1 million followers on the podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So I went looking at ours, and we were like 150.
Yes.
And I was like,
yes.
How are we getting thousands and thousands of listens per episode? And we don't even have like 100. We barely have 150 subscribed. We have almost more YouTube subscribers in the last 9 months than we do as Loser Kid Pinball over the last 4 years. It's weird.
But it does help like the search algorithm. So if you like and follow, that'd be great.
And don't even just follow us. Follow Don's Pinball Podcast.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's great content. I know people are loving you. I mean, you're doing something right. So you keep popping up in my feed. I don't know if it's because I like your posts or whatnot, but
perfect. I'm just happy to be hanging around with everybody. New episode just dropped tonight too. So it's hot, dripping hot new content.
Nice.
Stream Lebowski from the hotel room.
Yes. The people in the room next to you are just going to love you all night long, aren't they?
I mean, yeah, I'm thumping the bass too. I'm not even being nice about it.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Don, and I guess, Scott, we will see everyone in 2 weeks, right?
Absolutely. Talk to you later.
Later.